This is the Life by Design with Angela Weiss podcast, episode 51, Motherhood, the gift that keeps on guilting. Welcome back. I'm Angela Weiss, dual board certified nurse practitioner, author, and a mom who's carried a lot of guilt. Whether you're listening on your morning commute, folding laundry, driving your kids to practice, or sitting in the pickup line at school, maybe you're finally enjoying a quiet house after years of raising children. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I believe today's conversation is one that most every woman, mother, can relate to. When people talk about motherhood, they usually describe it as one of the greatest gifts of their lives, and I would agree with that. Becoming a mother changes you in ways that nothing else can. It can expand your heart, it teaches you unconditional love, and it gives you new meaning and new purpose. It fills your home with laughter and memories and milestones, traditions, and moments you never want to forget. But if we're honest, motherhood seems to come with an unexpected companion that no one really warns you about, and that's guilt. Why I've titled this episode today, Motherhood, the gift that keeps on guilting. There's a reason for that. Before anyone misunderstands me, this isn't an episode about complaining about motherhood. Quite the opposite, actually. It's about freeing ourselves from the unnecessary guilt that so many women carry for decades. Because I don't know a single mother who feels like she's done enough. I've never met a mom who says, you know what, I absolutely nailed it every single day. Instead, I hear women say things like, I should have been more patient. I should have spent more time with them. I should have worked less. I should have worked more. I should have cooked dinner. I should have volunteered. I should have called more. I should have known better. It's almost like motherhood comes with a soundtrack that constantly whispers, you could have done a whole lot more. And that guilt starts early. What's interesting is that the guilt starts almost immediately. You find out you're pregnant and suddenly you question every decision. Am I eating the right things? Should I be exercising more? Am I drinking enough water? Then the baby arrives and the questions multiply. Should I breastfeed? Should I use formula? Am I holding them too much? Am I not holding them enough? Why won't they sleep? Why are they sleeping so much? Is this normal? Then they become toddlers and you wonder if you're disciplining correctly. You question whether you're too strict or not strict enough. School starts and now you're wondering if they're reading enough books, spending too much time on the screens, participating in enough activities, or participating in not enough. By the time they're teenagers, you're questioning almost every decision you make because you know these years matter. Oh, then they become adults and somehow you still worry. You wonder if you prepared them well enough. You wonder when to step in and when to step back, and the responsibilities change. But the love doesn't, and for many women, neither does the guilt. And that's an impossible standard. I honestly think we've created this impossible picture of what motherhood is supposed to look like. Somewhere along the way, women were handed a list of expectations that no human being could ever meet. We're expected to build successful careers while never missing a school event. We're expected to cook healthy meals every night while somehow finding time to exercise, keep the house clean, maintain our marriages, stay connected with friends, volunteer, manage the family calendar, help aging parents, and never lose our patience. Then we look at social media, where everyone else's lives seem beautifully organized. The birthday parties look professional. The homes are spotless. The family pictures are perfect. The meals look like they came from a magazine, and without realizing it, we begin comparing ourselves, our ordinary Tuesday afternoons, to someone else's carefully selected highlight reels. What we don't see are the dishes piled in the sink or hidden in the oven just outside the picture. We don't hear the argument that happened on the way to the family photo. And we don't see the exhaustion, the tears, or the moments of doubt. Comparison has always been dangerous, but social media has given it a megaphone. And love was never meant to look like perfection. I think that's one of the greatest lies moms believe, that perfection equals love. It doesn't. Perfection isn't what our children remember. They remember whether they felt safe. They remember whether they felt loved, who showed up, who sat beside them when they were hurting. They remember laughter around the dinner table. Far more than whether dinner was homemade. Your children don't need a perfect mom. They need a mom who keeps showing up, one who apologizes when she's wrong, one who celebrates their victories, one who comforts them in disappointment, and one who lets them know they are loved, not because they performed well, but because they're yours. I don't think guilt makes us better mothers. I actually think it steals from motherhood. It robs us of being fully present because we're always worried about, should we be doing something else instead of enjoying what we're doing right now? Imagine sitting at your child's ball game while mentally writing tomorrow's grocery list. And imagine reading a bedtime story while thinking about work emails. Imagine eating dinner together while replaying everything you did wrong that day. Physically, you're there, but mentally, you've already left. And guilt has a way of stealing today's joy by convincing us we don't have enough left in us, and we don't do it. So we have to have grace for ourselves. One of the hardest lessons I've had to learn is extending grace to myself. We're often incredibly compassionate toward other mothers. If your best friend called and said she lost her patience with her kids today, you'd probably tell her she's human. You'd remind her she's a good mom, and you'd encourage her to apologize if she needed to and move forward. But what about when it's us? We replay it for days. We question ourselves and we carry it. We let one bad moment convince us we're failing. Why is it that we're so willing to give everyone else grace but ourselves? The truth is, every mother has moments she wishes she could do over. Every mom has words she wishes she could take back, and she has regrets. That doesn't make you, us, a failure. It's human nature. Growth doesn't come from pretending we're perfect. It comes from recognizing where we can do better and then choosing to move forward instead of living in shame. And losing yourself while loving everyone else is one of the lessons that we as moms experience. It's a loss of ourselves. It doesn't happen at once. No one wakes up one morning saying, today I'm going to forget who I am. It happens little by little. Your calendar fills up with everyone else's appointments, and your grocery cart is full of everyone else's favorite foods. You know everyone's clothing size, everyone's schedules, everyone's fears and dreams, and you become the keeper of the family calendar, the family traditions, the birthdays, the doctor appointments, the permission slips, the holiday planning, and somehow you also become the one everyone calls when something goes wrong. Then one day, someone asks you, what do you like to do for fun? And you honestly don't even know the answer. Or they ask, what are your dreams now? And you realize you haven't thought about your own dreams in years. That's not because motherhood took them away. It's because motherhood required so much of you that somewhere along the journey you stopped making space for yourself. I want to say something that I hope gives someone permission today. Taking care of yourself is not taking away from your family. It's investing in the person your family depends on. You can't pour from an empty cup forever. Eventually exhaustion catches up and resentment catches up. Burnout catches up. It's not because you don't love your family, but because you forgot that God loves you too. You are still his daughter before you're anyone's mother. And your identity is bigger than motherhood. Motherhood is one of the greatest roles you'll ever have, but it was never meant to be your entire identity. One day your babies will grow up and they'll move out, and one day they start families of their own. One day they don't need you in the same ways that they once did. If your entire identity is wrapped up in being needed, that season can feel incredibly lonely. I've watched so many women struggling during the empty nest years because they spent decades pouring into everyone else without ever asking, who are they becoming? Maybe you've been there too. Maybe you're there now. The beautiful thing is that God never stopped writing your story. Your purpose didn't end when your children became adults. It simply changed. Maybe you mentored women. Maybe you start the business you dreamed about. Maybe you travel. Maybe you write books or volunteer or go back to school or take care of dogs that won't stop barking like mine in the background. I'm so sorry. Your life still has purpose. Your gifts still matter. Your dreams still matter. You still matter. What our children really need, when I think about children fully, what they need, I don't think they need mothers who never make mistakes. They need mothers who model healthy adulthood. They need to see us apologize and see us forgive, see us rest, see us laugh. They need to see us pray. They need to see us take care of our bodies, take care of ourselves. And they need us to admit that when we don't have all the answers, that's okay too. Because one day they'll become adults too, and when they struggle, they'll remember what they saw us do. If they watched a mom who believed she had to carry the weight of the whole world alone, they'll think that's what love looks like. But if they watched a mom who loved deeply while also trusting God, setting healthy boundaries, asking for help, and extending grace to herself, they'll learn something even more valuable. They'll learn that strength isn't pretending everything is okay. Strength is knowing where to take your burdens. For the mom carrying regret today, maybe you're listening and your children are grown. Maybe you wish things had been done differently, or the words, you could take them back. Maybe there are years you wish you could relive. Can I gently remind you of something? Every parent is raising children for the very first time. There are no experts. There are no experienced people in this to the point of getting it all right. Every child is different. Every family is different. Every season is different. You made decisions with the information you had at the time. Could you have done some things differently? Probably. Couldn't we all? But healing yourself today won't rewrite yesterday. Grace allows for acknowledgement of the mistakes made without becoming imprisoned by them. If there's an apology to make it. If there's a conversation to have it. And if there's forgiveness to ask for it. But don't spend the rest of your life paying a debt that grace has already covered. So today I want to leave you with this. Motherhood truly is one of the greatest gifts, but it was never supposed to become a lifelong sentence of guilt. You don't have to earn the title of good mom by exhausting yourself. And you don't have to carry the responsibility for every decision your children make. You don't have to compare yourself to every other woman on social media. And you don't have to believe that perfection is the goal. Love is the goal. Grace is the goal, and presence is the goal. If your children know they are loved, if they know they can come home, if they know you'll pray for them, if they know you'll celebrate with them and stand beside them in their hardest moments, you've given them something far greater than perfection. You've given them a safe place, and that's one of the greatest gifts a mom can ever give. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. If this conversation encouraged you, would you please share it with another mom, grandma, maybe a friend with little ones? Maybe it's your own mother, or maybe it's someone whose children are grown but still carries guilt they were never meant to carry. Remember this as you go into your week. You are not defined by your worst parenting moment, and you are not defined by your guilt. You are defined by the things that, you are not defined by the things you wish you had done differently. You are loved by a God whose grace is greater than your regrets, and motherhood may be the gift that keeps on guilting, but today let's choose to let go of the guilt and hold on to the gift. This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended to replace formal therapy. If you feel like you are having a crisis today, call 911 or 988 in the United States or Canada. My dog barked. I stumbled over some words. I don't tend to re-record unless it's really a bad mess up. So I'm not always going to get it right. In fact, most of the time I don't get it totally right. But the idea of the whole message is still there. Thank you for listening wherever you are, and I hope to see you again on Thursday.